What's up everyone? You might be a little surprised to see Family Feud on this channel, but even with the game show popularity, it's an obscure game to be reviewing that you really don't see much footage of, and I'm here to tell you there is actually some amount of fun to be had here. Despite the appearance of a game usually found in bargain bins in the aisle at Target, this actually does not belong there at all, so let's see why and play the Feud. So what is actually in this package of Family Feud? Well, there are 4 game modes in total, which are all just slight variations on the main Family Feud experience. You can either play online against someone else or a friend, offline versus a computer, or offline versus another family for local competitive play for up to 10 players if you pass the controller around. There's also a live show mode where you can broadcast your custom game to Twitch or YouTube using a capture card, and I didn't test it out all the way live in real time, but it seems to work where you could in theory play with a huge audience, guessing along or creating your own questions, even though I don't think it's a feature anyone will really be using.
What do we have in 3? Cookie Monster.
If you live under a rock or are younger and don't know what the Family Feud is, to sum it up, it's a trivia light game of sorts where you guess the answers to broad questions like name a monster, or more hypothetical questions like what are the objects in your home that your grandpa most likely can't turn on. And the more your answers line up with a survey of 100 random people, the more points you get for your team. There are then 2 competing families where each can have the chance to steal the other team's points if a family doesn't get all the answers listed on the board, and finally a fast money round where you answer similar questions but with a lot less time to think. There's nothing flashy here at all. It is quite literally the Family Feud experience, minus Steve Harvey of course, and for better or for worse, meets those expectations.
And for the last time, that is one heck of a win.
So when booting this game up for the first time, I wasn't really sure I would find anyone to play against. But after only about 10 seconds, someone named Cat Mom was my first ever online opponent. And a lot of footage in this review is from that game, so thank you, Cat Mom. No, Cat Mom! Outside of the main game modes, the currency you earn at the end of any of the games, online or otherwise, can be used towards outfits for your 10 customizable family members. There's also some light stat tracking, as well as objectives to work towards. I don't know if you really should play the game outside of party settings too much, but those are at least something to give back to anyone playing on their own. Technically speaking, the game is a bit of a mixed bag in some areas, but the playability of it is perfectly fine. It's not pretty to look at, and the extremely low frame rate and budget feel will be off-putting to some people. But honestly, if you care about frame rate in Family Feud, then what are you really doing? The most important part, in my opinion, is how it mirrors the game in real life and the keyboard entry system. It is honestly fantastic. You have to type 2 letters, and then the game starts to guess what you are trying to type within the context of the questions, with 4 different options. It's a perfect balance of being able to quickly type and guess something real quick, but also there's no real way to really cheat the system or anything goofy like that.
Survey said money. That's the final answer.
So with a final score around 70, Family Feud is actually a perfectly playable game. If you like the game show at all and enjoy playing along when watching, it's a completely adequate representation of the experience and quite honestly led to a lot of laughter when playing. It does what it needs to do well, specifically with one of the more intuitive keyboard entry systems around, and more games like this should really adopt the format here. It's also easy to play in large groups for up to 10 people, with even complete non-gamers can play along. Yes, it's very rough around the edges visually, plays a bit slow, and with some crazy low frame rates, but captures enough of the sounds and game show elements to make it a pleasurable experience in the end. And honestly, the cheesiness and roughness of it is hilarious at times, which combined with trying to panic answer questions in classic Family Feud style can be a lot of fun. So a special thank you again to Cat Mom, whoever you might be, and thanks everyone for
Family
watching.
Feud. Okay, thank you so much. I'm your man, Lucky McCoy.